Hello everyone, welcome back. Savage here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Was Like Toji. Now, let's just get right into it. As Midoriya stands in front of Stain, and immediately Ida says by the side of his leg, "What are you doing here? Leave! This is my fight! Do not interfere!" As Midoriya said, "Why would I listen to you? That's not what a hero would do. Leaving when somebody's in danger? Come on." As immediately Stain looks into him, he finds that answer quite amusing, but at the same time, he, looks into Midoriya, and for some reason he can't help but feel that Midoriya's face is fake. Not in the fake way as in a fake hero, but in the fake way as if he's faking his emotions. As Ida continued to talk, saying, "Leave! You're no match for him!" As Midoriya said, "That's the same thing you told me when I beat your ass on the sport festival. And look who won it. Me." As immediately Stain looks into him saying, "I remember you. I watched you. Everybody talks about you." As Midoriya said, "Oh, really? Do I have that many fans?" As Stain said, "You're the kid who managed to win the sport festival without a quirk. You're quirkless. And yet you managed to be a hero?" As Midoriya said, "Yeah, so what's about it? Are you gonna laugh in my face like everybody else?" As Stain said, "No. Why would I? When I finally see a true hero." As Midoriya is shocked by that. Stain sees him as a true hero. He acknowledged him. He didn't even make fun of him being quirkless. But then, while Midoriya is talking to Stain, his worms start crawling down his body and starts, sucking Ida inside. While Ida, seeing the worm start swallowing him, Midoriya said, "Don't worry. It's just gonna swallow you so you'll be in a safe place. There is a lot of air inside of it since it's a vacuum. There should be enough air for you to at least breathe for a whole year. Don't worry, I'm planning to get you out of there in like an hour or two. But first, I need to handle this guy, and right now you're blocking my way." As Ida said, "Wait, stop! No, don't fight him, you!" As while he's trying to talk, the worm just swallows him, and she starts crawling to swallow the other hero, which the hero thanks Midoriya for his help, and then traps itself around Midoriya's body again. As Stain looks into him, preparing to fight, as he said, "So, what will you do, hero?" As Midoriya said, "Normally I'm supposed to run, because I have injuries on my back, literally. But if I leave, you're just gonna go and kill another hero, which I can't allow. So," as Midoriya puts both of his hands inside his worm, taking off the diversion fist and pulling out a katana, a regular katana, as he points it into Stain, saying, "I'll have to stop you here and now, hero killer Stain." As Stain immediately pulls out his sword with a smirk on his face, smiling ear to ear, as he said, "Bring it. Show me what kind of hero you are." As immediately Midoriya and Stain rushes towards each other, as Midoriya clashes his sword with Stain. This is not the soul split katana, so he'll just gonna have to deal with the normal blade, because he doesn't want to end up killing Stain. And the diversion fist is of a short range, and Stain has a sword, so it will be much more logical for him to just use a regular katana, as they start to, giving each other blows after another with their swords clashing, sparks around the place before Midoriya jumps back, and he's surprised by Stain's strength. His quirk is supposed to be paralyzation, isn't it? So how is he so good as hand-to-hand fighting? He's almost as strong as him. Almost. As immediately Stain starts dashing into Midoriya, but Midoriya dodges his stab attack before Stain pulls out a throwing knife and threw it to Midoriya's face, as in that moment it hits Midoriya, but then, while Stain thinks that it might actually gone through his head, he looks to see Midoriya caught the knife with his teeth before he spit it out, saying, "You're fast and strong. You might be the fastest person I've ever fought beside Ida." As Stain said, "And so what's about it to you?" As Midoriya said in his mind, "This guy, He trained like crazy. No wonder he's so strong. He must have pushed himself far beyond an irregular human. Me, I could have pushed myself so harsh, and yet it feels like he's almost has gone through much more torturous training than me. What kind of training did he put himself through? What kind of hell did he go through? As immediately they start fighting. They keep on changing blows, and Stain is noticing how Midoriya isn't trying somehow. He's not trying to, well, hit too hard, to move too quickly, as he finds that irritating. He immediately throws a knife into Midoriya and then screams with anger, saying, "Are you really gonna hold back on a villain? What kind of hero lets the villain fight? You should immediately defeat me if you are capable of that, or else will be a life on the line. Isn't that how you're supposed to do? What they are supposed to do? How are they supposed to act? Perhaps I was wrong about you." As Midoriya said, "I can't help it. You're just so fun." As Stain said, "You're not supposed to be enjoying it." As Midoriya said, "But you are enjoying it too, aren't you? I know you have put yourself through such a hell to be able to do all of these moves. You're strong. But I guess you're right." As Midoriya immediately takes an actual stand, saying it's not as good if a hero immediately holds back on a villain. It just gives them a better chance at running. "So, hero killer Stain, I'll give you what you want." As immediately Stain smiles and he leans forward while holding his sword. Yet somehow he couldn't even land a hit on Midoriya. But all it needs is one hit, and he'll be able to finish the job. As immediately both of them rush on each other. Midoriya puts the katana in its sheaths inside his worm, while getting ready to pull it like a samurai doing a quick draw. As when Stain immediately rushes towards Midoriya, Midoriya does the quick draw, and at that moment he puts the katana back inside the worm, and Stain suddenly gets a slash on his chest, immediately across his body as he falls to the ground. As Midoriya walks back to Stain, saying, "That was only on surface area. You shouldn't bleed to death. But just to make sure," as he just ties Stain's hands behind his back and pulls some bandages out of his worm and some alcohol to close the wound, as he just poured it on top of it and immediately bandaged it up a bit quickly. Not a very pro bandaging skills, but something to stop him from bleeding all over the floor. As immediately Stain looks into Midoriya while all tied up, saying, "You, what kind of hero are you? What pushed you to come this far? How did you make it this far? What admirable determination have pushed you to push yourself beyond human limits?" As Midoriya looks into Stain, saying, "And what is it for you?" As Stain said, "I want to know. Because so far, from all the heroes I've met, you are the closest to him." As Midoriya said, "Him? What are you talking about?" As Stain said, "All Might, the only worthy hero." As then Midoriya suddenly, when he heard about All Might, he clenches his fist and said, "All Might, worthy hero? Doubt it." As Stain said, "Why do you keep a mask on your face?" As Midoriya said, "What are you talking about?" As Stain said, "You can't hide it from me. You can lie to everybody, but I see right through you. You may act all strong and all dark and twisted. You may act as if you don't care about what you're doing. But behind those eyes, I can see a hero that's only willing to help others, with no ulterior motives. Be proud, Izuku Midoriya. You are a true hero." As Midoriya said, "Whatever. You're a weird guy. I shouldn't be talking to a killer." As Midoriya immediately grabs Stain on his well, start dragging him on the floor because he already has a swarm on his shoulders. As he take him out into the street. While he's out at the street, suddenly some heroes seeing him from the distance as they rush to him as they see Stain being dragged behind of him. And immediately Endeavor also finds Midoriya with Todoroki as Todoroki said, Midoriya, are you... Wait, is that... As Endeavor said, the hero killer Stain? You managed to capture him? As Midoriya said, yep. Also, as his worm immediately spits out Ida and the other hero, which their paralyzation have ended. Ida's paralyzation have ended, but the hero is still paralyzed, as Ida said, what happened? As he sees Stain, well, captured. As Ida looks into Midoriya and said, you defeated him? As Midoriya said, yeah, what's about it? And not a single scratch too. As immediately Ida clenches his fist saying, that was supposed to be my battle. That was, as Midoriya immediately slaps Ida on his face saying, quit it. What kind of class president are you? Going for vengeance? That's my whole stitch. As immediately Ida looks into Midoriya saying, I want to take revenge on the people that always said that I am nothing more than a quirkless nothing. Why are you wanting to take revenge? Don't you want to hold your brother's name high in the air? What would he say if he saw you like this all miserable? Especially after a quirkless person saved you. Don't you feel ashamed of that? Be an example for us all and be a good class president. And beside, if you died, I would have had to come and take the jobs, and that wouldn't be so nice with me. I don't need to take care of everybody. As Ida, although Midoriya sounds so sarcastic and, well, trying to act all not caring, he can hear that Midoriya cared behind his voice. He sounds that he just cared about Ida staying safe and regretted seeing Ida going such a dark path after vengeance. As Ida thanks Midoriya, but then in that second, a Nomu comes and snatches Midoriya out and into the sky, as Midoriya having his arms being pierced by the, well, flying Nomu's claws. As then in that moment, Stain immediately breaks out of his ties, licks the blood off of the face of the woman of the Nomu, and immediately the Nomu start falling from the sky before Stain jumps up in the air and stabs it in his head, freeing Midoriya out of his grasp. As Midoriya looks into Stain, he said, you saved me? As then Stain start talking, saying, the streets should run with the blood of the hypocrites. I won't let true heroes be killed. As immediately Midoriya sees the look on Stain's eyes, for once in his life, from a long time, he feels a chill goes down his spine. He feels fear, unfiltered fear. As Stain immediately keeps on talking before he finishes his monologue with, there is only one hero that I'll allow to kill me. All might is worthy. As he falls unconscious, as Midoriya sees this, it just sounded all so creepy. However, after Midoriya and everybody else being taken to the hospital, next day morning, Midoriya and Ida are in the hospital. Todoroki came to visit them both, before suddenly the chief of police and the detective walk through the door. As both of them enters, as Midoriya said, chief of police? As immediately the chief of police look at all of them saying, well, seeing that all of you are fine. As Todoroki said, what are you doing here? As the detective also says hi to Midoriya and everything. As Ida said, are we in trouble? As the detective said, well, not really. But you kids have broken the laws. As Midoriya said, what laws? As he said, because you used your quirks in public and tried to attack the villain. I'm talking to you, Ida. As he keeps talking about the laws and how it works and how quirks should not be used to harm villains. They didn't have the right to do that. However, after finishing his whole monologue, He said what he really wanted to say, as he said, however, those laws don't really apply to you, do they? As he looks into Midoriya, as he said, and we can't file any charges against you having legal weapons, since they all are under the, UA's protocol of support items. As Midoriya said, so, as he said, which in other words, you, my boy, have managed to hunt down and defeat the hero killer. That will sure gonna put your name up somewhere. I just came here to inform you about that, and also to thank you personally, as he bows to him saying, thank you for your help. As Midoriya looks into this, he just feels off about it. He said, don't bow, it wasn't anything. About Stain, where is he being sent to? As immediately the chief of police said, well, for the hero killer, he'll be sent to Tartarus immediately. He's too much of a danger to be left in any other prison. As Midoriya looks into the chief of police before he stands up, saying, this will sound weird, but can you allow me to visit him? As Ida and Todoroki hearing that, it is like, you want to visit him? Why would you? As Midoriya said, that's none of your business. I have my reasons. As the chief of police looks at weird into Midoriya, but he sees the determination in Midoriya's eyes as he said, well, that's the least thing we can do. Perhaps there, can be arranged. But it will take some time, so you're gonna have to wait for a while. As Midoriya said, it's okay. I just need to talk with him about some things, and perhaps thank him personally. As well, the chief of police left, and Todoroki looks into Midoriya asking if he'll gonna, come with him back into the agency, and Midoriya agrees. After they both say bye to Ida, they both return to their hero agency with Endeavor. Midoriya and Todoroki keeps on, doing the normal stuff, and when they finally return to UA after a couple more days, Midoriya talks with everybody, and everyone, and I mean everyone in the school, is swarming him like flies around a light bulb. Not only that he won the sport festival now, but also he's the one that took down the hero killer Stain. He just keeps getting bigger and bigger, isn't he? As well, everybody is swarming him. Believe me, he's barely even able to breathe. And don't even let me start on the ladies. You could only imagine how the jealousy in Denki's and Manetta's eyes while they are standing in the corner. Of course, they try to act as if they are Midoriya's friend, but Midoriya immediately pushed them down, saying that he doesn't even remember their names. However, after all of that school day is over, Midoriya, after a quick training session with All Might to, reach him in the training ground beta, he managed to win that race between him, Ida, Saro, and Ojiro. And right now, he gets a call on his phone telling him that he is now able to visit Stain from the detective himself. So, Midoriya goes to Tartarus after coming in front of the gates and arriving. Everybody, allows him in since he is on the visiting list today. As he enters Tartarus, he waits in a room and then they bring him Stain. As Midoriya looks into Stain through a thick wall of glass, as they tell him that he have about 5 minutes. So Stain looks into Midoriya as he said, "You are here?" As Midoriya said, "Hey." As Stain said, "What is the meaning of this?" As Midoriya talks back saying, "I just wanted to say thanks. You saved me back there. I got stabbed through my hand with that thing's claws and I couldn't really run or grab any of my items, so you really saved me." As Stain said, "Do not thank me. I just saw that you're a true hero and I didn't want anything to happen to you. That's all." As Midoriya said, "Which, by the way, still thanks." As Stain said, "Well, it doesn't matter. Make sure you stay a true hero, or else I'll come out and kill you myself. As Midoriya said, you talk about a lot about heroes and true heroes, but yet somehow you attacked Ida's brother. As Stain said, so? As Midoriya said, Ida's brother in Genium was a true hero. By your own logic, you just ended the career of one of them. As Stain said, don't lie to me. As Midoriya said, come on. You managed to know what I truly feel behind my eyes, didn't you? So just look into me and tell me that I'm lying. You have heard it a true hero, Stain. So how dare you have the audacity to say that you're doing this to make a better society when you're erasing the people that are actually building the society to be better? As Stain looks into Midoriya's eyes and he sees it, he is saying the truth. As Stain said, what did I do? As Midoriya said, what did you do is hurt a true hero. That's what did you do. However, thankfully he's still alive, but I don't know if he'll ever be able to walk again, thanks to you. And who knows about the other heroes? The only person I know about is Ingenium so far. As Stain looks down and starts questioning his whole stuff, his whole ideology, how he was, thinking about heroes and fake heroes and all. As Midoriya said, you said that the only person that you acknowledge is All Might and me. Well, let me tell you this. All Might cannot be everybody. Not everybody will live up into that All Might status. So you can't hold everybody and try to kill them just because they don't act like All Might. Every hero can be a true hero. There are fake heroes, yes. I am as much as aware of that as you are. But at the same time, there are heroes that are true. Heroes that act like heroes should. And you just killed one of them. Killed the hero of Ingenium. As Stain keeps looking down, wondering about his whole ideology, listening to Midoriya's talking, as Izuku continued talking, saying, so, if you ever try to kill a fake hero, in your own words again, how about you don't hold them to unreachable standards? And then perhaps you'll be able to see if they are actually heroes or just a fake. As immediately, Izuku took a deep breath and said, I don't know, I am talking with you about this. I mean, you're not leaving the cell, that's for sure. As, well, the guy in the voice in the microphone starts saying, you only have 2 minutes left. As Midoriya said, that quickly? As immediately Stain said, Izuku Midoriya. As Midoriya looks into Stain and Stain said, thank you for showing me my wrong of my ways. I promise when I come out of here, I'll gonna take your words to heart. And I'm gonna look on the scar that you gave me on my chest as a reminder of my mistake. As a reminder that Stain have worked in the wrong ideology. That Stain have killed a true hero. As Midoriya said, oh well, I don't know if I should be happy about this. Hold on, this sounds so bad actually. As immediately Midoriya said, well, I mean, you're not leaving this place anytime soon. At all, even. Which, by the way, I also wondered, can you tell me how to do that? As Stain looks into Midoriya weird and Izuku said, the thing you did, the way you terrified, you terrified Endeavor and every other hero, including me. How did you do that? As Stain said, simple really. I guess I can tell you. Consider it my way of thanking you for opening my eyes. As Stain started explaining his way of, what he called it, a blood stare. As Midoriya just started memorizing it, he just taught him how to do it, kinda just told him how to train to do it. It's all about manifesting all your emotions in your face and just staring into the other person's eyes immediately, right into their soul and stuff like that. As Midoriya thinks he got the hang of it, and he thanks Stain for his cooperativeness. As then, the guy in the microphone tells them that the visit was over, and Midoriya, was about to walk out of the room as he said, "Also, Stain, perhaps you're not all that bad. If you were a hero, you would have been an amazing hero." As Midoriya leaves the place, and they take back Stain into his cell for him to think a lot about what Midoriya told him. He's starting to rethink his whole ideology about heroes and fake heroes and his All Might standards. Midoriya was right. All Might is too high up in the sky and is a completely different league than everybody else. Thinking that everybody could be an All Might is simply too much of an expectations that cannot be reached. But that's a thing that you're gonna have to worry about for another episode, because this is over right now, guys. Tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think is gonna happen in the next part? Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.